In a development that is shaking Capitol Hill to its very core, Senator JD Vance has erupted into the national spotlight after directly confronting Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer over what is now being referred to as one of the most damning and strategically revealing political leaks in modern Senate history. The scandal centers on a secret audio recording leaked from a closed-door Democratic leadership strategy session held in one of the highly secured meeting rooms of the Capitol. In that recording, which has now been partially transcribed by independent sources and whistleblower-backed journalists, several top Democratic senators, allegedly including Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin, Sheldon Whitehouse, and others, can be heard discussing a deliberate, coordinated plan to quietly sideline Donald Trump's America First movement and weaken the influence of MAGA-aligned senators through legislative and procedural manipulation. The tone of the meeting, according to those familiar with the recording, was not one of political debate or governance, but rather that of a tactical war room, devising methods to undermine nationalist rhetoric, contain the Vance-Hawley axis, and preemptively dismantle any Trump resurgence should he win in 2024. The language reportedly used is not just politically aggressive, it's chilling. Phrases such as institutional choke points, media masking, bureaucratic insulation, and strategic resource throttling paint a picture of a Senate leadership actively engineering ways to use federal agencies, legislative timing, and media complicity to block the momentum of one half of the country's political will. Enter JD Vance, a former Marine, venture capitalist, author of the best-selling memoir Hillbilly Elegy, and now perhaps the most unapologetic pro-Trump senator in the chamber. Vance, whose loyalty to the America First vision is not performative, but deeply rooted in personal and cultural convictions, took to the Senate floor in what many are calling one of the most powerful and fearless speeches of this political era. Without hiding behind vague language or Senate decorum, he directly accused Senator Schumer and his colleagues of orchestrating what amounts to a bureaucratic coup against not just Donald Trump, but the millions of Americans who voted for him, twice, and who continue to fight for policies rooted in national sovereignty, border control, energy independence, fair trade, and working-class empowerment. Vance demanded immediate transparency and accountability, calling for an independent investigation into the Senate's internal political maneuvering, and introduced a resolution to release all communications, transcripts, and notes associated with the now infamous meeting. His speech, while scorned by the mainstream media as partisan rhetoric, has gone massively viral across alternative platforms like Rumble, X, Truth Social, and Telegram, where patriots, populists, and independent journalists are rallying behind his bold stand. In conservative circles, Vance is now being hailed as a modern-day Paul Revere, sounding the alarm not about an approaching foreign threat, but about an internal betrayal by those entrusted with representing the people. What makes this situation more alarming is the near-complete silence of corporate media, which has either ignored the leak or attempted to downplay it as a misunderstanding or a routine strategy discussion. But to millions of Americans already skeptical of Washington's integrity, this silence only confirms what they've suspected for years, that a powerful political class, in concert with media elites, is working behind closed doors to sabotage any populist resurgence that challenges their control. And the implications go far beyond Trump. If a sitting U.S. senator, like JD Vance, duly elected by his constituents, can be targeted through procedural sabotage, backroom plotting, and institutional throttling, then no independent political thought is safe within the halls of power. This isn't just about Donald Trump's political future. It's about the future of democratic representation itself. Are we witnessing the emergence of a shadow legislative process where elected leaders scheme not to legislate for the people, but to restrain them? Are Senate resources and taxpayer-funded institutions being used as tools to wage war against an entire political ideology? These are the questions now being raised, not only by Vance, but by constitutional lawyers, watchdog groups, and even a few brave voices within the Democratic Party, who are privately warning that such tactics, once normalized, could one day be turned against them too. Meanwhile, Vance's rising profile in this moment has changed the political calculus in Washington. No longer viewed as just a junior senator or Trump ally, he is now being seen by many as a leading figure in the next phase of the America First movement, a potential vice presidential candidate, or even a future presidentia.